Howdy everyone, it's me once again, the one and only Killer Rodan. So yes, for the month of October, I want to do lots of spooky stuff. Of course, talk about these types of movies. I mean, granted, I probably would have done it anyway because as far as I'm concerned, Halloween's year round anyway. Anyhow, but since it's October, I'm just, I guess, do an extensive amount of it. I mean, I was going to do this eventually, so I might as well use this as an excuse, I guess. Anyway, so yeah, reviewing part two. So I just thought I might as well review part two. I wasn't quite too sure when I was gonna get through these movies because I've seen part one and part two a good while ago, so I wasn't really sure when I was gonna get to it. So the person who was behind this movie said he wanted to do something more driven, and when this film was released, and it actually opened with positive reviews. So some people actually stated that they felt that this sequel was actually an improvement over the original. So okay, fair enough, I guess. Anyway, another slasher type movie, I guess. Why not? Whatever. Anyhow, of course, as always, let's just get into the story, shall we? But yes, of course, just like before, there's gonna be a crazy clown or whatnot. There's gonna be the whole thing with crazy clown, Brody, Morty, and Peebo and whatnot. So of course, yeah, there's a whole bit when it comes to this county massacre. So after being resurrected by some kind of unknown identity from the part of the massacre that had happened, the clown wants to just go on a rampage. I guess you would say, and the clown character just wants to go and just terrorize people like he did before. And of course, he's a crazy bastard. He's definitely a crazy individual, and he just wants to continue his rampage and whatnot because he's an asshole. I guess you can say he's not a good person whatsoever at all. So anyway, so we get to see that a year later there was this teenage girl who's preparing for her Halloween costume thing. I guess you can say this angel warrior type character designed by her father, who recently died of a brain tumor, unfortunately. And yes, this will actually come into play later on in the story, of course. So there was that. Yeah, this character would become important in the story. But then there's the other character, her younger brother, who named Jonathan has become fixated with art since discovering some sketches of him in his father's notebooks. Excuse me, I should say their fathers, of course. But anyway, the one female character, the teenager, was referring to a moment, has a nightmare about this art and is awakened to find fire in her bedroom. So there's a whole bit with the sword that's a gift from our fathers and just remained unscathed somehow and whatnot. And it's supposed to be important and whatnot. It's supposed to be important to the story. And this whole thing would definitely become very important as the film progresses. I'll just leave it at that, folks. It would become a key important. Yeah, this whole thing with the Halloween costume and whatnot. So it gets pretty maddening, I should say. It gets pretty damn crazy as the film continues, obviously. And I just sure it's a horror movie. It's a slasher type movie. Of course, it's gonna get really weird. Of course. So there's that, I reckon. But also, there's this character that gets introduced. So yeah, she is a wild card. That's for sure. A crazy character. If that's the best way to say it, I guess. Yeah, that character does get introduced here. So okay, sure. That's fine. She's supposed to be a crazy type character anyway, so there's that, of course. And yes, actually, that character she showed actually became popular enough that. So yes, this character had like some Halloween stuff, of course. And then that eventually lead to the whole idea. Obviously, she has a dolly. Yeah, seriously, this character has a dolly. So okay, sure. I mean, why not? I guess. Yep, even a T-shirt. There's even T-shirt stuff. Sure. And also, yep, there's even mugs. Yep, mugs. Yeah. It's I guess he proved to be a popular enough character. I reckon. I mean, sure, why not? Why not? I suppose. But anyway, the whole thing with Halloween night, people being haunted and yada yada yada. All that's yeah, it's definitely a crazy thing, of course. And yeah, I just thought this was a pretty crazy thing as a whole. I guess. I did think that this was trying to focus on a kind of some kind of narrative, of course. I mean, yes, as I might expect, it's bloody, it's gory and whatnot, and that's definitely there. That still continues that the first film had done. And yes, of course, the whole costume thing was could be actually criticized. I don't understand why, because I personally don't mind it really. Oh no, it's weird that it's like a cosplay movie. I mean, personally, I don't mind it really. Okay, even if they were going for like a cosplay angle, I don't mind it. I'm perfectly fine with that really. I mean, movies are expensive to make. Movies can be very expensive to make really. Anyway, so yeah, it's a fairly low budget film, of course. I'll definitely say that. So okay, this one is a bit long. Yes, I would definitely say that. Yes, is a the length of it is a really a behemoth runtime. Yes, I can really agree that maybe that's a little problematic right there because the final act of the film does feel very drawn out more than it should have. But still, the film for the most part I can say is really entertaining. I can say it's definitely really entertaining. So we see the teenage character and her family along with the friends who are trying to just gear up for some Halloween festivities and whatnot. So sure, why not? So some crazy wild stuff in that regard, sure. But yes, obviously then the whole killer clown and whatnot coming along and just causing havoc and whatnot. So yeah, this does attempt to add a bit more story to these films, of course, which I'm fine with. When it comes to adding lore and whatnot, when it comes to just any movie really, yes, you should add more to it, really. Yeah, it gets a little jarring because, like I said, the final part of the movie gets a little dragged out, sure, but sure, whatever. The the kills are pretty creative. I would say that the kills are pretty creative, of course. I would say definitely check this out. Yeah, the gory killing scenes are pretty crazy and whatnot. And I like that. I like the crazy murder scenes in this one, folks, as well. Just like how it was in the first movie. That was pretty effective in its own little way, which I think is a good thing, of course. I like that. So yeah, ultimately, what I can say is that was worth it checking out. I mean, I don't review slasher films all that often, really. I really don't. And I mean, it's a bit of a shame that I don't really because I like slasher movies. I don't mind slasher movies really, ultimately, because they can be creative. They can be pretty cool in their own way. They can be pretty creative in their own way. When done properly, of course. When done properly, they can be pretty creative, of course. At least I think so. But anyway, I can definitely say that this was a film I didn't mind really. I didn't. I thought the acting was decent. I suppose that the acting was decent enough. I suppose from everybody involved, of course, and whatnot. And yeah, I did like what they were trying to do. I'm gonna say they. That mean everybody involved, of course. So yes, I like the way it was done, and the I like the practical effects. The practical effects is what I really can say is one of my favorite aspects of the film. I mean, they did the same thing. I'm gonna say they. I mean, the people who are behind this movie. So yes, they did the same thing in the first movie. Both movies do use practical effects, so that's definitely is a good thing. Obviously, I like the production about in this in some ways because I like the fact that we're using production, the traditional. When it comes to the effects, I guess is what you would say that. I guess I suppose. Sure, why not? Anyway, so there was that. You can tell that this one had a somewhat bigger budget compared to the first one, so that's something. So anyway, I can definitely say that it was definitely a good thing. And yes, unfortunately, this was one of the numerous movies that was impacted by the worldwide COVID-19 pandemic, of course. So of course, the principal photography came to a complete halt to mid 2020 due to the pandemic lockdowns, unfortunately. So yeah, that was the thing. Anyway, but ultimately, I can say that this was not too shabby for what they were trying to do here. I liked it. It might be weird, sure, but it's a horror movie. Of course, it's gonna be weird, obviously. Anyhow, yeah, it's insanely violent, but I guess that's to be expected when it comes to a lot of recent horror films in this day and age, I guess. Anyway, I'll give this an overall rating of a 7.0 out of 10. It's a 7.0 out of 10 for me. So thanks for watching. See you.